Losing over 40 pounds in my 30s naturally meant that my life had to change. And today I want to share with you some habits that I needed to change in order for me to finally lose the weight and maintain the weight loss for over 4 years at this point. And so today I want to share those with you. So if you are ready, let's get started. So all of these habits are different, but they're all sort of surrounding the key pillars of weight loss and healthy living. And the first one being I had to change the way that I talk to myself about exercising. I spent so long telling myself that I needed to exercise to burn off the calories or to, look lean and tone, or there was always a reason why in my head, like when I look like this, and also, even when I looked like this, I had this idea that exercise was the means to that end. And when I actually finally lost the weight and have kept it off, it's because I have changed my relationship with exercise. Exercise for me is no longer about losing weight or being like some sort of like bikini ready, summer, whatever. For me, exercise has become part of my lifestyle. It's just something that I enjoy now. I used to hate exercise for the most part. I had decided that it was a punishment. I needed to do it to burn off all these calories. But what I didn't realize is that because I was making it a chore, it was something that I didn't want to do. And now that I have taught myself that exercise is a gift and being able to move my body is a gift, I actually want to get up in the morning and do my workouts. I actually want to go to the gym and lift weights. I want to go and dance and have fun and enjoy myself. And it's become a fulfilling part of my life that helps me to feel better and has become a positive coping strategy for me. And if I hadn't done that, I don't think I would be as successful because I think I would have stopped exercising. Because ultimately, when I viewed exercise as a chore, I didn't really want to do it. But now that it's a gift, I choose to do it and I want to do it. And so it's okay that it's part of my routine because I love it. Hey guys, if you're finding this video useful or helpful in some way, could you do me a huge favor and give this video a thumbs up? Lets YouTube know it's useful and helpful so it'll share it out to others like us. If you did so, thank you so much. I appreciate you. The other habit that I had to stop is I had to stop emotional and boredom eating. And I think this is one that's really hard for a lot of people. But when I was, overweight, honestly, when I was out of shape, I was very much emotion focused when it came to my eating. I really didn't have a good sense of like how to control and regulate my emotions when I would feel stressed. Like I'd get off from work for the day. I'm a therapist for a living, so you would think that I would know these things, but it's amazing what you can't see when you're not looking for it. But I would get off of work and I'd be like, oh, well, I really need a cocktail, or I really want to just like relax and unwind. So let me have a couple of cocktails, or I would go into the kitchen and just start snacking. And because of that, I was continuing to gain weight. And I honestly think if I had kept on the path that I was going, I probably would have continued to gain weight. I don't think my weight gain would have stopped. I don't think it would have stayed stuck. I think I would have continued to gain weight. But because in this like new version of myself, I realized the impact that emotional eating was having on me. And understanding decision fatigue. Understanding the phrase decision fatigue was a new concept to me. This is a concept I learned about through Noom. And I don't know, when I heard about it, it was like, boom, hammer, it just like shattered the whole thing. And it changed a lot for me. But understanding that there's such thing as decision fatigue. And so making decisions on the front end of your day, like setting yourself up for success in the morning by like eating a high protein breakfast, sets you up to be successful later on in your day when you're trying to stay in your calorie budget. Because if you have underfueled all day, you are much more likely to make those negative, poor decisions around your eating at the end of the day when you haven't been fueling properly. You're much more likely to binge eat or just like eat a bunch of crap. Whereas if you are fueling properly throughout the day and like staying full and satisfied in your other meals, when you've already made those decisions, you no longer have to make decisions about what you're going to eat. So for example, if you haven't decided what you're going to have for dinner, but you've already made 10,000 decisions for the day, I mean that literally and figuratively, then it's much easier to just be like, oh, whatever, I'll just order takeout than it is to prepare yourself a meal. But if you've made the decision at the front end of your day and said like, okay, I'm planning to have protein taco pasta for dinner tonight, then you can backfill your day knowing what you've planned for dinner. And so making the decisions on the front end of your day and setting the tone for your day really, really changed how I looked at how I was eating my food. And it really propelled me to actually be able to sustain the weight loss because I have a lot more knowledge about it. Habit number 3 was honestly just generally my self-talk as a whole. And I know that feels a little broad for a habit, and we could get into this more. I've done a bunch of mindset videos that I'll link for you in case you're curious about those. But my mindset just around myself and what I was able to achieve really had to change. And it wasn't until I figured out that I could do hard things and could push myself outside of my comfort zone was I actually able to be successful, because you will always be stuck if you stay in your comfort zone. And I lived in my comfort zone for so long. I was comfortable there, hence comfort zone. But it wasn't until I pushed outside of my comfort zone. And for me, I had to hit rock bottom. I had to hit a place in motherhood where I felt so awful that something had to change. And so for me, it was hitting that rock bottom postpartum at his first-ish birthday, seeing pictures of myself not being able to climb up and down the stairs without needing to take like a breath and sit down, not being able to pick him up because he was getting too heavy. Like all of those things made me sit down and reflect on my life and realize like what had happened to me. And I think it's because of that, hitting rock bottom caused me to have a perspective shift, because something had to change in me in order for me to have a better life. And so I had to shift my perspective on who I am as a person and what I was capable of achieving. And yes, is that a habit? Yes, it is. I really, truly, as a therapist, I believe that the way you talk to and about yourself is a habit. The things that you say about yourself, the things you believe about yourself will be true because you have told yourself that they're true. If you're telling yourself all the time that you can't do it, you're worthless, you're useless, you're fat, you're ugly, all of those things, all of that negative self-talk lives inside of your brain. And your brain does not know the difference between what's real and what's not real. So the way that I talked about myself had to change. And if you're looking at this video with me, maybe you should reflect on your own self-talk. What are you telling yourself? What are you teaching yourself about what you can and can't do? The next habit is I stopped trying to be perfect all the time. I know this is a hard one for a lot of people because it's a hard one for me, but I very much was a perfectionist. Like I believed very strongly in what we call in CBT, the all or none mentality. I believed that if I couldn't do it exactly perfectly, then I shouldn't bother to do it at all. If I couldn't get a 45-minute workout in or an hour workout in, then I would just skip it and start fresh tomorrow. But the thing that I've learned and realized after doing this for as long as I have is that some is better than none. And the consistency comes from doing some and being imperfect than doing just when it's perfect. Because what happens is when we decide we must have the perfect circumstances to, let's say, get a workout in, then what we do is on Monday, I only have 20 minutes to work out. So I'm just going to wait till Tuesday. And so we didn't get 20 minutes. And then Tuesday comes around and then we work out for our time and we do our whole time. Wednesday comes around. Oh, I've only got 40 minutes to work out. I don't have time to work out and get ready for work. So we skip 40-minute workout. But if we were doing a non-perfect way, then we work out for, maybe 15 or 20 of those minutes. So my point is that you end up with more minutes in your week if you're just doing your very best and working with what you've got, as opposed to it needing to be perfect. I feel like I didn't illustrate that example very well, but hopefully that made sense to you. But being perfect kept me from my goals because I felt like if I couldn't do it perfectly, then I shouldn't do it at all. And I think a lot of us were taught at a very young age, like you need to do it right. And I do think there is such thing as good enough. And in weight loss and healthy living, there very much is a good enough. There's good enough meals. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to hit your protein target every single day. Most days of the week is good enough. You don't have to work out for 60 minutes every single day. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough. And if you can get out of the head space of perfection, that's really when I think most people are most successful, because they're focused on the consistency piece rather than the focus on perfection. So, I hope this video has served to be helpful and useful for you guys. So listen, if you find this video useful or helpful, I'd love if you would subscribe and stick around and share with me what has been your experience. What are the things that you have learned that you had to change in order to become the healthier or more successful version of yourself? And until next time, bye friends.